Well, it has been some years since I found out, so I think I've grown with it too. As as we've always loved you. That's never been anything in my mind that we don't love you, but it's just a whole different thing or lifestyle that we never really thought about.
I met the love of my life and best friend and soulmate as a friend, Marisol Samaniego. I love you. She and I lived together for 2 years, or over a year, in Newport. We had a house by the beach. It was wonderful. And when she left, it was the saddest day of my life because I never thought that I would see her again. She was my best friend. And she was headed to Japan. So I made sure that I went to Japan so that I could be with her. And then when we were in Japan together, she got sent to Yuma, Arizona. So I made sure that I got sent to Yuma, Arizona. And I remember he actually had to lie to the people who pick your orders. And I said, well, my fiance, Marisol Samaniego, she has orders to Arizona, and if I'm not with her, our marriage may never happen. Do you want to be responsible for that? And and I got the orders. And it worked out well. We spent basically 5 years together, on and off. Probably more time apart than together, but we were never out of touch.
And so there's no one to really talk to about this issue and stuff. So I guess I just fear that someone will hurt you and not really get to know who.
I got there. It's what you think it is. I flew around in CH-47 or CH-46, and I was part of the Purple Foxes. I don't know. I flew in the back of the helicopters, treating patients, both military, civilian, terrorist. I had a guy try to bite me once, so I had to stick him with some morphine to keep him from trying to bite and spit on me. It was probably about halfway through my tour, and this boy, he was a boy, he had gotten hit in a Humvee, and his whole right arm and right leg were completely crushed, just almost gone. And the side of his head, part of it was missing. That was the most critical patient I ever had. I remember we gave him CPR for about 30 minutes continuously, and we got back to our tent area, and we found out about a half hour later that he didn't make it. That was probably the first time that I'd actually cried at the thought of losing a patient. It had never happened before, of my knowledge, and here I was. I dedicated my time to helping this boy and try to keep him alive, and we failed, so.
A lot of people would say, how could you let Nick go over there and do that? And I would always just tell him, if he can be brave enough to go over there and help this girl who did not want to go over there, I said, I can be brave enough to stay here in the United States and be brave. So I think that's when I really started praying a lot and relying on my faith, that you have to have trust then. That's when you have to have trust in God, because there's absolutely nothing you can do. And then I feel like that trust and faith was really rewarded one Christmas when he was there. I don't remember what year it was anymore, but I remember him telling me how he was going on a big helicopter thing, and he was going to another base. And that was Christmas Eve, right? And his cousin was also, he was a Marine on another base. And somehow, his helicopter went to his cousin's base, and out of all these men and women, they could find each other for a few seconds on Christmas Eve. So I always felt that God was giving them a blessing, that they would put them together on Christmas. They could be together, where we're all waiting over here in the United States, missing them. So I'm just a firm believer that you got to put your trust in God.
I told her through a letter. She was sad for a while, and now she's okay, which is good, because I want her to be okay, because she's been a good mom. She loves telling that story about Iraq, but it is a nice story. It's a true story, so, you know, the uniform is a symbol of the honor you should feel when you serve your country. You wear it every day. You wear it with pride. Now, being gay in the military means that you're not supposed to have pride, that you're not supposed to feel honor by wearing that uniform. And I just think that's ridiculous. I was just as capable to do my job as the next guy, if not better. Leaving the military was a easy and a hard decision, because I did enjoy my time in the service. I made some of the best friends in my life. I made plenty of money. I got to travel the world. I actually had a friend who tried to get me kicked out of the service once he found out I was gay, which kind of hurt because he was my friend. I have pictures of us, together having fun. And it was right before I was going to Iraq. My chief pulled me aside and said, I need to talk to you about something. And I was like, okay, well, what is it? And he said, well, are you gay? And I said, no, I'm not gay. What would make you think I'm gay? And
I'd say being in the military was hard. A lot of people think, well, it's not that hard, just, be who you want to be or whatever. Well, obviously, the military doesn't allow open homosexuality to be a trait among its service members. So myself and my friends, my colleagues, my shipmates, we always had to hide who we were every day, day in, day out. It got hard, Some days were easy, You go to work, it's a job. The military is a job. You go to work in your uniform, and you see your coworkers day in, day out, and they learn to know you. And a lot of them knew. A lot of them were my friends, a lot of them I trusted, but some you couldn't. So even around the ones you knew, you still always had to keep your guard up. So I look at it and I just think, it's like, how did I lie? I lied about who I was every single day for 5 years. I don't know, that's such a strange concept to think about, I don't really think about it very often. It's kind of hard. Yeah. Wow.
So I was very sad, I think, at first. And I know I called my mom, and she came over, and we talked about it, and that helped. And in a couple days, I think Dad came home, and then we talked. And I guess it was just an overwhelming emotion at first. I think maybe I knew, but I didn't know, because you always said, no, I'm not.
The most common question I get with friends and family is, when did you know you were gay? Or when did you decide to be gay? Obviously I don't believe that you decide, because why would anyone ever decide for this life? It's easier now than it has been, but it's never an easy thing. I would say that I knew for sure back in 4th grade, because my favorite TV show was the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I remember I had a huge crush on the Green Power Ranger. His name in the show was Tommy, and he had long brown hair, kind of like a little bit longer than this, and his name was Jason David Frank in real life, and I knew at that moment that I was like, wow, he's really cute. I met the first guy I ever loved in Rhode Island. His name was Gerald. We were friends. We went on a date. We kept going on dates. I guess eventually we fell in love. Looking back at it, what was it? Young love, first time being in love, you just automatically love them. You want to be in love with them forever. Obviously that didn't work out. Whatever.
I have to think. If I was allowed to be openly gay in the military, would I still be in? And the answer is yes. Yes, of course.